Welcome to Dark Hat Studios. My name is Azil Zor, and this is the Bloody Reaver. It's a ship for the board game Dreadfleet, and it's the ship of Count Noctilus himself, the head of the Dreadfleet. It is essentially a castle from Sylvania that he's teleported into the ocean and then taken the hulls of sunken ships. He's forged a giant super ship out of all the different hulls from sunk vessels, and it's crewed by various zombies and skeletons and whatever corpses are found drowned in the ocean. I had fun painting this vessel. I use a lot of different coats to get the sail color right. I apply this deep purplish blue color. Again, I've learned the lesson of not worrying about the detail till later. The important part when putting on the base layers is really ensuring it's just not too thick that you obscure those details. And as long as you do that, you can put on many coats. If you put it on really thick and you obscure the detail, you can't really do anything about that but remove the paint. But if you're using water, as you should, you're not going to have that problem. Yeah, thin it with water, and you're not going to have the problem of obscuring the detail. And now I'm applying a pink. And I'm trying to ensure this is watered down enough that I get the purple showing through. I don't want to have bright pink sails. It's a bit bright, and I'm going to go back over it again with a purple wash, just to darken it again. I'm delicately applying the paint for the parchment. If you really think about it, there would be like a group of undead sewing the sails together, working in a fabric shop, building these giant 100-meter sails. They're bigger than most ships. They've got nice designs on them. Like, which undead was in charge of designing and sewing the sails is what I want to know. Count Noctilus is like, no, try again. I'd like to see something better. Maybe a skull with spinny arms around it, or more tentacles. I like to see wings on the back. An octopus skull would be cool in the front. Like, who thinks this up in the undead army? And when they have thought it up, who's working on it and fabricating this? Like, it's not ordered. It would be like a series of vampires that work for him. They'd be like, please, master, do you like the purple? I know it's not vampire red, but anyway. Right, so now I'm applying a purple wash. I think it's called Leviathan Purple. I didn't like the streaky texture, so I'm modeling the paint to get different texture out of it. Niklaus von Karstein, deep in the forests of Sylvania, amidst the vampiric aristocracy of the von Karsteins, mastered the arts of necromancy and sorcery. In his research, he found a great mystical vortex, a tempest of magic in the ocean that drew the dead towards it. In a great ritual, he translocated his entire castle into the vortex, into a place called the Galleon's Graveyard. With his magic, he moved the strewn wreckages of ships to his castle until he formed around it the Blood Reaver and took the name Count Noctilus. It was here in this kingdom of necromantic magic that he would forge his empire over 20 years, claim the great ocean as his own, and seek out to destroy the mortal world. The power he gained there has already allowed him to bend the will of the Shade Wraith and make an unholy pact with the captain of the Black Kraken. He raised the Scabrous from death and made an alliance with its Skaven crew. He would later join forces with the Curse of Xandri, and he would become what's known as the Dreadfleet. Count Noctilus is the leader of the Dreadfleet. He's the vampire leader of the undead army, basically, and he is in the game Total War 2. I think there's an add-on where you can play the faction. Yeah, I haven't played that game, but it was some of the videos and lore I've seen were based on the computer game. That's really neat. I really like this model. It's really cool. It was easy to paint. At this point, this was the last model I painted in the series, and I was really used to painting the banners. I just completely tackled those separately in its own project, so my system worked a lot better than the Heldenhammer. And then the ship itself, there's a lot of just stone, some castle, and some bone, and it's a neat ship, and it's a neat concept of a vampiric castle with the hulls of undead ships built around it. It's basically resurrected ships, which is kind of the theme with Count Noctilus, is sort of taking these things and bringing them back to life. He's like a great recycler. A lot of recycling going on with the bad guys, so-called bad guys. Anyway.
Environmentally conscious.
Yeah, he's environmentally conscious, cleaning up the oceans, waste not, want not, and bringing things back to life, like a cleric. This is actually the final highlights. There's probably like 5 coats of paint there. I'm using the brightest, that pink again, and I'm putting it with less water and just using it as a edge highlight. Get some of these creases standing out. I think the pink and purple mix looked really neat. So I make a mistake here. When I'm gluing the ship together, I thought I could fit all the sails in those holes, but I couldn't actually. And at this point, you actually need to have the sail end to glue it together. So the design of the ship was really tricky to build and paint, because you'd have to insert the sail even now before you got to paint the rest of the model with the sail there. It doesn't make any sense. This is a really fun model to paint actually, because it had stonework, the kind of bone spikes, and there's actually a number of ships stuck to it that I have to paint. Yeah, like compare this to the Swordfish, which is a very cohesive ship. It's this black and bone swordfish vessel, pirate ship. And here we have the Bloody Reaver, which has components of bone and from whatever sea creature that has been sharpened, and the dragon front piece with the purple and pink sails and detail. You have this red topped castle on rock, and then you have the wooden ships on the sides. And I was a little bit nervous about what colors to use on those ships, just to make sure they didn't clash too much with the pink and purple on the rest of the ship. But overall, I think it tied together really well. I wrote Games Workshop because I was concerned. They have a very strict protection policy around owning everything with their product. I wasn't sure I could even show a picture like this, like a card from the game that I own, and profit off it, or have the potential to profit off of it. But they actually wrote me back, and they were, I would say, quite supportive. So that's how that went. I'm not sure I'm going to paint necessarily Games Workshop models again for a while, because it does make me nervous. I'm not trying to rip off any of their material in any way, but with Games Workshop TV, I know they are trying to profit off of these types of videos where they paint models or talk about their lore. I think by allowing fans and content creators to work together and share new ideas, they create new customers and pull more people into the hobby, and it grows and develops in ways we can't imagine, to the benefit of all of us. This is Tester's non-toxic glue. Kind of tacky, it's easy to stick, and then I realized that won't fit. Easy fix though, we can just clip off the end. I was trying to keep the stem as long as I could so the sails go together. By painting the model in components like this, a type of model like this, it does make it easier to get into different areas and details that to paint it completely built would be really tricky. And there we have it, the Bloody Reaver, the ship of Count Noctilus, his castle fabricated from various hulls of sunken vessels. Who will be the next ship to be used as wood for ever-growing ship? So with that, we're ready to take this game to the high seas for some naval combat wargaming. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, throw comments in and I'd be happy to answer them. If this is your first vessel you've seen, there's a Dreadfleet playlist where I talk and show how to paint all the ships. Take care. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful time.